The Kingdom Hearts 3 Olympus world is cool. It's great. We get to see areas we've absolutely never have explored before in Kingdom Hearts, and I'd probably say it's near my favorite Olympus variation out of the many we've experienced. However, there's one thing that's missing from this world a lot of us felt like was a sort of tradition from Olympus in the Kingdom Hearts series, which would be a tournament mode.
I gotta spruce this place up for the games!
Or no coliseum would be more accurate. But, we have something for that now. Or upcoming, I'd rather say. In the community, there is a very talented individual named Aprotics working on making a full functioning coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 3. This has been in development for a short period of time and is pretty close to being in a playable state. They've made a ton of progress on this mod recently and it's looking gorgeous. I'll show you even more info about this later in the video, so keep on watching. Though, on a side note, I do want to say, I understood the approach they were going for with Kingdom Hearts 3 Olympus, and I'd widely say it turned out great. The approach they took with Kingdom Hearts 3's Olympus was to make it more of a full-length world and environment compared to previous Olympus worlds that were essentially just the Coliseum and the underworld that you unlock, periodically throughout the game. This version explored what we surprisingly had not for 20 years with a franchise in Mount Olympus, the realm of the gods, pretty much finishing the story that took place in the movie in Kingdom Hearts canon. Though while this world receives general praise for what it did do, it does get criticism for what it did not, which is pretty much just a coliseum, not being there. Personally, the main coliseum I enjoyed was Kingdom Hearts 1's, and I missed that a lot. Kingdom Hearts 2's was fun for sure, but I feel like the options you had in KH2 destroyed most fights pretty fast, but it was still nice that it was there, compared to Kingdom Hearts 3 where it just isn't. The appeal of the Coliseum was that in those Kingdom Hearts games, it served as a place where you could truly test your combat and enemy knowledge at higher levels of difficulty. I'll never forget taking hours to get through the Hades Cup without dying while growing up. It was hard. What was really cool though was all the different bosses and special fights you couldn't find anywhere else in the game but in this Disney world, which really made it stand out. Like fighting Leon and Yuffie, Sephiroth, Rocktide, and Hades himself? Which to kid me was such a pleasant surprise because I didn't think we'd actually be able to fight Hades in the game, but you could in an unlockable tournament you got while progressing through the game. Also, it was kind of funny as a kid, making fun of Hades for not being #1 seeded in his own tournament. It was just hilarious to me. Kingdom Hearts 3, I feel like, did try to replicate this feeling to an extent with the battle portals instead, which I'd say are generally really fun. And do offer some unique fights, like with Dark Inferno or some of the returning nobodies as mini-bosses. These were concepts I really did enjoy, but I think were overlooked a bit because of a lot of varying reasons, but I think it boils down to they aren't as memorable as some moments you'd get in the Coliseum in times past. Most notably with the surprise character fights, like we mentioned, with the Final Fantasy characters or villains like Hades, or some of the Titans. I don't think beefed up nobodies really replaced those characters in a lot of people's hearts as far as fights go. There's no surprise fights compared to these in the battle portals, which is why they don't hit the notes the same way the Coliseums did in other titles. That's just the value of a Coliseum in a Kingdom Hearts game. As far as number titles go, at least, it was always just a cool feature we had. Let's speak more about this modded Coliseum that Aprotics is making though, who you can support in the description down below. I was fortunate enough to get a little Q&A going with the creator of the mod themselves to give you some neat information and get your excitement up about this mod. So I did first ask something pretty light just to start us off. I went ahead and asked, what made you start working on this mod? The obvious answer is that we were missing a Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 3, but more importantly, I'd recently finished work on a couple of mods that involved a fair bit of coding, and I was confident that I could create this mod with what both I personally and the rest of the community have been able to do with Kingdom Hearts 3 since its arrival on PC. The Kingdom Hearts community really has done a lot to Kingdom Hearts 3 since the game has came to PC, and not just Kingdom Hearts 3, but other Kingdom Hearts games as well have also been getting mods. Kingdom Hearts 3 though being one of the more popular games that gets mods created for it because of its ease of access. But seriously, it's just impressive to see how much people have made. I've messed around with some things on live stream, I've even made some videos on some of the mods that people have been able to make, this one included, and I really want to make more because we have such a broad broad community of talented people who are working a lot to give us unique experiences to this game. So it's really just exciting. For the next question, I asked how exactly are player-created cups going to work. Now, in the most recent update video they made regarding their Coliseum mod a couple of weeks ago, it was said during the video that you will be able to make your own cups. There is a set list of cups and tournaments, but players will be able to customize their own. So I asked how exactly is that going to work. I'll publish a portion of the Unreal Engine project I used to create the mod with instructions on how to make new cups. It's going to require a little bit of modding know-how, but you'll be able to use any and all features I've developed for the mod. You'll be able to define matches, waves, and rule sets can be changed with every match. That's really interesting. I wonder what people will end up doing with that. Maybe with some player created cups we could get some races going on with those. Then following up off of that, I asked how long did this mod take to make? Most of the mod was made in the span of a month, starting at the end of September. I haven't been working as hard on it as I did in the first month, but I'm still getting things done. Around how many standard cups can players expect? All 4 from Kingdom Hearts 1, all 5 from Kingdom Hearts 2, and 4 new ones made for Kingdom Hearts 3. The recreated cups obviously can't have all their original enemies, but I'm doing my best to recreate them. All cups will also have a standard and hard mode, similar to the Paradox feature from Kingdom Hearts 2. That's really cool, and that's a lot of cups. That's 13 cups. I wonder if that was intentional. I really wonder how a Hades Cup remake will go about from Kingdom Hearts 1, and I'm very interested in what the new ones for KH3 they make will end up looking like. That's really exciting. That means that people who download this mod are probably going to have a lot of content to enjoy and mess around with for the foreseeable future. And that on top of being able to make your own cups, player created cups, this is a mod that really could just have a lot of longevity. What is your personal favorite Coliseum from the Kingdom Hearts games? I was quite fond of the Cerberus Cup rule set in the Underdome, getting more drive forms and being able to use them without downloading Goofy. That said, the single boss fights in Kingdom Hearts 1 were also a very welcome addition. When are you looking to release or finish this mod? I'm hoping I can release a closed beta version by the end of the year, and maybe an open beta a month or two later. I'm a bit wary of releasing the mod publicly too early, as I don't want people to feel like they're done with the mod when they've only played a beta version. I sadly don't have a release window for the full mod, as I'm working on this alone in my spare time. That is perfectly understandable, and it's really impressive they're making this by themselves. But a lot of modders in the Kingdom Hearts community do these mods by themselves, and it's just really insane just how much like one person can do with Kingdom Hearts 3 when they know the ins and outs of how the game works. It's really inspiring and just impressive overall, and I'm very excited for this, and they have done such a great job so far, and I can't wait to potentially get my hands on it in the future. And for the last question, similar to what I've done in a lot of my creator interviews, I just asked them to tell us about themselves and their history with modding. I started modding Pokemon back in middle school and spent a lot of time on that. I've generally also been rather fond of making my own things for games like in Halo or Warcraft. Later, I started modding Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and around the time COVID hit, I was doing some Fire Emblem Fates modding. I haven't really released a lot of what I've made, as I didn't feel they were worth releasing, but I have a few mods out for Kingdom Hearts 3 now. It probably also helps that I now have 5 years of programming and game design experience under my belt. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Aprotics, or Apro as they say I could call them. I would highly recommend you go ahead and support their mods and them in the description down below. I'll have a link to their Nexus page where you can download the mods that they have made for Kingdom Hearts on PC, and additionally to their YouTube channel where they have been posting a lot of the footage that you've seen on screen of the Olympus Coliseum mod, which I'm sure they'll post even more and more updates of. But I'm super excited for this, and when I caught a glimpse of this mod, it was randomly recommended to me on YouTube, and I just had to get in contact with this person because I was like, this is insanely cool. Please tell me down below what you guys think about this. Tell them what you think about this as well. But that will be about all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoy these sort of creator interviews with artists, modders, speedrunners, or other YouTubers, whomever, please let me know. Otherwise, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, share the video with a friend or a family member, and last but not least, if you're not already and want to become a part of the union, all you have to do is that red subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, you guys. Bye.